Hey everybody, I want to do a little update on the pillar tool, and I'll show this. I'm not going to show it again for a while till it's completely assembled, and as I've noted in previous videos, the next thing I really need to do is to start building accessories for it. So I've had, as you can probably see, I've painted it. I wanted to just do a recap on that process. There's a lot been written about finishing cast iron parts like the pillar tool and the quern, and but I thought, I don't think there's been videos, and I wish I'd have taken some live action videos, but it's kind of hard when you're doing it with an iPhone. I started out with some bondo. There's plenty of videos about mixing bondo. You mix a bondo with a little filler. It comes with a filler. This little can costs like $8 or $9 at Walmart. It's not bad at all. And you use these little plastic spreaders to spread it on. As you can see, I've used up the smallest one already. Kind of wore it out on the project here. And this is extra hardener. I just happened to have it. I was getting ready to put all this stuff away, and I thought I ought to do a video. So from the bare castings, I put that stuff on and I let it dry overnight, and then I used various grades of sandpaper, starting with like 40 grit to just knock off the real high spots, 80 grit, then down to say 150, something like that, to get it decent. And then after I did that, I'd clean it off. I use a tack rag to clean it off, and I use some of this glazing and spot putty. It's red, and this stuff all smells, and if you're sensitive to smells, you want to do it outside or have some kind of a chemical mask on or something, because it has toluene in this. So I don't really like the smell. It didn't used to bother me. The older I get, the less I enjoy these kind of smells. So anyway, but it works great, and I've had this tube for a long time. I used to mess around with classic cars and stuff, and I used this on it. So this was the next stuff. It hardens, and then you can sand it. You want to use much finer grit sandpaper, like 120 to 220 grit, to get it smoothed out. And from there, then I'd sprayed a couple of coats of primer on, and then I would sand the primer, and I would let that sit and use a tack rag. And then today, this is Saturday, and I finally had a chance to paint the top coat, and this is what I wanted to show too. This is the latest thing, in my opinion. I used to always use oil-based paints for painting metal, but this stuff, you don't have to get the Coronado brand, but this is what they sell at the Benjamin Moore store. And my Benjamin Moore store is really great. I really like these people. They'll mix up custom colors for you. And I've had this gallon, I think it was like 20 bucks for this gallon, maybe more than that, I don't know. But if you think about how much paint is in there, all the things I've painted, and it's a waterborne acrylic enamel. So it's an enamel, it's not like a latex enamel where it's all gummy and gooey. It's very thin basically, and like I'm looking at it on my fingers here. I just finished painting these pieces, and it's real thin. It doesn't goo up like a latex. I just need to wash my hands off, but I did clean out my brush. I used this little 1-inch brush. I really like these, and you get great control with them. It's very fine control. So I masked off the bottom of the table, and that was primered as well, and I've painted it. There's the base. It's had a couple of coats of primer and sanding, and then the top coat. I did the bondo and the glazing putty on that as well, and letting it dry. So I'll probably let these things dry for a few more hours. I'm going to take them in because it's threatening to rain outside here, but I'll let them finish drying inside, and then maybe this evening put one more coat on. But I just love a couple things. I love the color. Coronado does sell a quote battleship gray color, but to me it's not blue enough. What I had them do, I have them mix. I have the custom mix that they did for me. I call it battleship blue gray, and I've got the code for it. But if you guys want, let me know. I'll post the code, and I've posted it before. I use it on all my machines. I really love this color. But this is a waterborne. Since it's a waterborne acrylic enamel, there's no smell whatsoever. I mean, well, I guess there's a little bit, but I'm painting outside here. It's nothing near like the chemical smells you would get from stuff like that or from an oil-based paint. It's just very, very nice to use. And the second thing I love, so the color, the fact that it doesn't smell, and it's waterborne, it really coats well, and it'll go down, and there's no brush marks. I mean, you can see some imperfections from my body work, but there's really virtually no brush marks like you would see with a latex type of a paint. So these things, I mean, it's a beautiful blue. There's a few little spots when it dries. Since it is waterborne, when it dries, there's a couple, contraction spots. So I'll need to go over this. It's had 2 coats on it already, and it's gonna look great. I mean, I really, really, really like this stuff. I don't know how much I can emphasize that. Plus, it's a semi-gloss. I always used to use high gloss for painting things like this, and the semi-gloss to me it really looks a lot better because it's a little less shiny. It doesn't show off the imperfections just as much as the high gloss does. And also with the semi-gloss, you get to see the color a little bit more because it's less shine, more color. So that's my artistic view. And to me it looks cool. I make a lot of my machine bases with pine, so to me that's a neat contrast with the pine wood. So that's my little update on the pillar tool and the painting and finishing the cast iron. If you look on my Instagram page, one thing I forgot to mention, if you look on the Instagram page, you'll see I ground out the part numbers that they had on how it comes from Martin Miller. I used my little Martin Models and Pattern. I used my little Dremel tool with grinding stones in it to grind out the part numbers. Just think it looks better that way. That's just a personal preference. So anyway, that's my update, and I hope everybody's having fun and staying safe, and I will look forward to seeing you later.